This is Dave at Active Intel Investigations. Online scams are becoming much more common and a higher percentage of the types of frauds that we see every day. And usually an online scam has very common elements. First of all, the victim is approached by an online marketer for some type of an investment. Maybe it's some type of future gain that they may have royalties coming to them, or some type of project they're going to be involved with. And there's upfront payment that is requested. And that payment could be just simply an investment, that the money's going to be used to invest in things that will produce a return later. It could be for fees or commissions for some type of royalties or some type of business partnership. Either way, there's a story that's made up for the reason that money needs to be paid by the investor slash victim. And sometimes the story keeps recurring a couple times. First they ask for a certain amount of money, and then later, wait, we need more money. And then maybe a third time there's money that's requested. Usually the fraudsters will request money as many times as they can until the investor starts to have resistance against paying more money. Many times the investor is asked for money to protect their existing money. Once you have $10 or $15 or $20,000 put in, the fraudster will say, well, that money is at risk unless you pay another $5,000 for some type of an insurance. Once the victim realizes that they're not going to be paying any more money, a lot of times the fraudsters will disappear. They'll stop answering emails, stop answering phone calls, and now the fraud is complete. Investigating an online fraud is very important to initiate as soon as possible to determine the identity of the fraudsters, really where the money went, before they have a chance to dismantle their fraud organization. You can actually spend some time targeting that investment fraud to find out who they are, because they still are probably collecting fraud money from other victims. They don't want to dismantle the fraud too quickly, because if they do, they can't continue to get money from other victims. So if you're one of the earlier, middle, or even towards the end victims, there's a time period where you can still identify where that money went and possibly recover it. So a fraud investigation that begins quickly has a higher probability of discovering the fraud, discovering who the fraudsters are, and possibly recovering money than if you wait months or years after this happened to try to find out, because by that point they've shut down this fraud and maybe operating something else, but it'll be difficult to identify who they are because they'll be using different names. So if you're a victim of an online fraud, a financial fraud, look to see what an investigation can do. And we have on our website, activeintel.com, some ways you can do your own fraud investigation, and also services to help you identify the source of that fraud.